Contacting professors is the most critical thing you can do, the most important thing if you want your master's or PhD in the United States to be funded. In fact, many schools in US will tell you if you don't have a professor, do not apply to our programs. Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Move with Ifeanyi. My name is Ifeanyi. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to contact professors. Contacting professors is the most critical thing you can do, the most important thing if you want your master's or PhD in the United States to be funded. In fact, many schools in US will tell you if you don't have a professor, do not apply to our programs. For instance, do you want to know the schools I'm talking about? Duke University. If you go to environmental science department at Duke University, they've stated it out. If you don't have a professor, do not consider applying. So the first thing you should do is to contact a professor. If you look at the Department of Geography at Alabama, University of Alabama, they stated it also, you need to contact a professor. Okay, so why should you contact a professor? That's the first thing you should ask yourself. Number one reason you should contact a professor is because master's and PhD in the United States is like a job. Okay, so contacting a professor first is like you applying for a job to the manager or to the person who you are going to work with. Okay, and if you don't have someone you are going to work with in the company cannot just hire you if there is no opening. If there is no opening, for instance, you just apply to, for instance, you wanted to be a driver for the president. If there is no opening, they can't apply, they can't take you. So first of all, you need to contact a professor. That is one thing many people are not aware of. They just submit the application and they get rejected. They submit application and they are wondering, why am I not getting this thing? Even though you are qualified. In some schools, they will say, no matter how good your application is, if you don't have a professor, we are not going to take you because you need someone you can work with. All right, so if you understood this, another reason why you need to contact a professor is because in most cases, professors, they have funding. They are the ones that have most of those funding. For instance, a professor is working on using artificial intelligence to understand how human communication, maybe how to improve content creation. You understand? So a professor may be working on using machine learning to improve content creation for people with disabilities. And they have this funding probably from National Institute of Health or probably from NASA or National Science Foundation. And they're looking for associates to work with them. They're looking for people who can work with them as research assistants, or they are teaching. They have lots of programs they are teaching, so they need teaching assistants, and in that case they will need to employ you to work with them. Some of them need you to work in the labs. For instance, they collected lots of data and they need someone to analyze them. They will employ you either as a research assistant or as a laboratory assistant. All right, so you need to contact these professors. Very critical. Nevertheless, you can see that some professors usually advertise openings in their lab. You will see some of them will share it on Twitter, some will share it on Instagram, some will share it on LinkedIn, some will share on websites. For instance, if you go to American Geophysical Union website, you are going to see people who are related to geosciences, geophysics, geography, marine science, coastal geography. They usually share openings on that particular website. Do you get? So they will say, hey, I have this and this and this openings that are available. If you want to work with me, come and join my lab. There are so many of them scattered out there. I also share it on my Facebook page. If you're following my Facebook page, you are going to see all those things. I share them once I come across them. Okay, so when they have openings, they want some students to join them in the research, they are going to ask you to contact them. And that contact is the most critical, is the first establishment you need to make with a professor. How to do it matters a lot, and if you don't know how to do it, it's going to limit your chances of getting funded. It's going to limit your chances of getting the admission. It's going to limit a lot of things for you. So I'm going to show you the 5 things you need to include in your code email when you are contacting a professor. Are you ready? If today is your first day of joining this program, kindly hit the like button, click subscribe so that you can be getting my videos whenever I make them. I make videos on research, I make videos on travels, I make videos on visa, student visa, I make videos on studying in the United States. I'm studying in the United States by myself, and sometimes I make videos when I have the time. So please click subscribe, click follow so that you can get my videos. All right, number one thing you need if you want to contact a professor, the most critical number one thing is to go and look for a professor that is in line with your interest. A professor that is in line with your interest. You get, go to a school website, or if the professor shared the opportunity and you found the opportunity on Twitter, or you find it on LinkedIn, or you find it in any website, and they say contact me, usually they will say contact me and express your intention, send me your CV or anything you've worked that you think is relevant to what you want to do. Okay, so the first thing is to get a professor within your interest. Get a professor within your interest. How do you do that? You go to a school website. For instance, let me use University of Georgia, for instance. You go to the school website, University of Georgia, uga.edu, www.uga.edu. When you get to the University of Georgia, navigate your way to a particular program of your choice. For instance, you are looking for PhD in infectious disease. PhD in infectious disease, then you are going to see the professors. Usually those professors are under the tag called faculty. If you are coming from Nigeria, I'm from Nigeria myself. If you are coming from Nigeria, in Nigeria, faculty is a group of departments. A group of departments is termed faculty in Nigeria. But over here in the United States, a group of departments is not called faculty. They are usually called college or school. College or school. For instance, College of Public Health or School of Public Health. But faculty over here in the United States is an umbrella name for professors. Lecturers are called faculty members. Okay, so whenever you get to a program of your choice, look for faculty members or look for people. Under people, you are going to see like maybe staff, then you see faculty. Under that faculty, you will see the names of those professors that are in the department or in the program of your choice. Then when you now get to them, you search for those ones who are related to you, who are doing similar program or similar research as you want to do. For instance, you are interested in epidemiology of infectious disease, basically how do you guys say it? In marginalized communities, okay? And you find a professor who is doing similar research. Your job is to look for that professor's email. Usually their emails are always on their profile. Once you see a professor's profile, their emails are always there. You take the email, then you start to contact them, okay? Yeah, you can contact more than one professors in the same department. For instance, they have like someone is working on infectious disease epidemiology, the other person is working on genetics of infectious disease. These are closely related, okay? The other person may be talking about maybe environmental toxicology of infectious diseases or something like that, or impact of environmental toxicology on infectious disease epidemiology. Okay, so your job is to know how your background relates to what the professor is doing. So you need to find a nexus between what you are doing and what the professor is doing. Once you found that, then you are ready to start sending emails. All right, the first thing you need to do, I've said that, you pick the email address and you start sending email. How do you contact these professors? The subject line of that email, the subject line, I suggest the subject line should be prospective PhD student fall 2023 or prospective graduate student fall 2024. Depending on the section you are entering, depending on the time you are watching this video, it may be 2026, it may be 2028. Why did I say fall? Because most professors recruit students in the fall. So if you are going for spring semester, put spring 2020, whatever year you are watching this video. Okay, so you want to start your program fall 2024, you put it prospective master students fall 2024. That is the subject line of the email. Or you say prospective master students. You may decide to start prospective infectious disease students. Some will say PhD applicant fall 2024. So in any variant you want to do it, just make sure that the subject of the email, it has a good subject and short subject. Also, don't start writing a lot of, I am applying. No. In the email subject, it shouldn't be there. Just master's applicant, PhD applicant, interest in PhD for 2024, interest in PhD for, or interest in master's for 2028 or whatever. Okay? Or if you just want to request information or inquire, you can write something like PhD inquiry for 2024. All right? That is the subject of the email. Now, when you begin to greet the professor, you say, "Hello, Professor James Dan. Hello, Dr. James Dan." Don't say, "Hello, sir." No. Okay? Always write the professor's full name, address them with their academic, title. If they are professors, write professors. If they are doctors, write doctors. Assistant professors are professors. Associate professors are professors. But most of the time, people address both of them with doctor. Okay? So it doesn't matter. So you can put Dr. Dorcas Emery. All right? Dr. Ifani Eze. All right? So that is the address of the professor. Then you start going to the body of the email. The body of the email can be divided into three major parts. The first part is you greeting the professor, introducing yourself, introducing your background. Okay? Introduce yourself, introduce your background. "Hello, Professor." You've written the professor's name. "I am Ifeanyi Eze. I am writing to express my interest in working under your supervision for my master's study in infectious disease commencing for 2024. Okay, so you've introduced yourself, introduced what you want, and you went straight to the point and say you want to work under his or her under his or her supervision for fall 2024. All right, then you now begin to express yourself. I just concluded my undergraduate from Bishop Crowder Seminary University at Uganda. And during my undergraduate, I worked on this. I have this experience. Okay, so you highlight some of your experience and your achievement and your skill. That is like the first section of the email. Then you go to the next paragraph. The next paragraph is you telling the professor what you really want. For instance, for my master's in epidemiology, I'm interested in doing this, in doing this, in doing this. Okay, that is for the second paragraph. You are telling the professor the exact thing you want to do if you are admitted into the university. "I want to work on this. I am passionate about this. I am passionate about this. I want to research about this." Let me use infectious disease epidemiology, for instance. You can start this way. "For my PhD, I am passionate about exploring social determinants and socio-economic factors that contribute to infectious disease, particularly in underprivileged communities." And you have to justify why that research is important. So that is significance of your study. You are also going to include it. This is important. You are talking to the professor now. This is important because according to WHO organization, World Health Organization, about $70 billion is spent on clinical. All right. So you say why that thing you want to study is significant. You can quote statistics. You can quote, why it is critical. For instance, someone who wants to study maybe coastal conservation. You want to conserve the coast. American U.S. Census Bureau say that before 2050, the United States is going to spend $10 billion conserving the coast if people didn't take actions, right? And 10 billion watts of goods are going to, 10 billion watts of infrastructure are going to sink if nothing is done in the coast. All right, so you are trying to study the coast so that you can help and contribute in managing those infrastructure such that they will not get into the water. Do you get? So you need to show significance of that study. Then you begin to talk to the professor directly why and how their research is in line with what you want to do. For instance, in the past, the professor did some research in epidemiology, and you want to do epidemiology of infectious disease also. You say, Professor, I found your paper where you talked about infectious disease and telemedicine and how people in the rural area can use telemedicine to report infections or to report some minor outbreaks that the government is not aware of. So you read the professor's paper and you found out where the professor did some work that is related to what you want to do. So create that nexus. Hi, professor, from your work you published so and so journal, I found this link and I am impressed, and or you learned a lot and you are interested in exploring it further. That is why you are emailing them. Okay, so this is the third section of the cold email. The third section of the cold email. Then you can now say, I want to know opportunities in your lab because I want to join the program by fall 2024. Thanks, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks, and I look forward to hearing from you. Ifani, sincerely, Ifani Eze. All right, so that is the three major parts of writing a cold email. The first part is you acknowledging the professor, like, hello, Dr. James Maduka, or dear Dr. James Maduka. All right, that is the first. Introduce yourself, introduce where you are working currently, or maybe you are studying as a student. Introduce that, then introduce your skill, your critical skills and values that you are going to bring to the lab. Then the second paragraph, you are going to talk about the research you are passionate about. This is what I'm passionate about. This is what I'm passionate about. And this is why my passion is significant. All right. That is the second paragraph. Then the third paragraph, you are going to link that your passion to what the professor has done before or the professor's capacity. So when you match these two together, you now request, I would like to know how we can work together in this direction. And I want to know if you have opportunities. That is for when you are sending cold email. All right. But if a professor has already advertised and say, I have this program open, come and work with me, I need students, you don't need to ask them if they have openings. They've told you already that they have openings. Okay, so your job at that time is to still greet them, introduce yourself, introduce your background, show that you are really interested in that position they advertised. Okay, so for my master's, I want to study this, and this, which is in line with the position you advertised. I want to learn this, because you show the significance of that study you want to conduct. Then you now request that the professor should speak with you further so that you can provide further clarity or further clarification if they want to interview you further, to know your interest and to know your strength, and for you to even know if the lab is for you. Then you close the mail by saying, sincerely Ifani Eze, or sincerely Amaka Esquire, or something like that. This is how to contact a professor. Nevertheless, in my next video, I'm going to tell you how to follow up a professor in case you contacted them and they didn't respond. There are so many ways you can contact them to get responses, because it is very demeaning that you send them an email and the professor is not responding. In my next video, I'm going to show you how to contact them if they are not responding. Click that subscription, click that follow, try to follow this brand. We are always here to help you out. Check out my next video. Thank you.